North Korea fires ballistic missiles ahead of South Korean leader's China visit, escalating regional tensions. North Korea launched multiple ballistic missiles early Sunday morning, marking its first such test of the year and intensifying already high tensions in East Asia. The launches were detected just hours before South Korean President Lee Jae-Myung departed for a state visit to Beijing for urgent diplomatic talks. What happened? According to South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff, several ballistic missiles were fired from the vicinity of Pyongyang at about 7:50 a.m. local time on Sunday. The projectiles flew southeastward into waters between the Korean peninsula and Japan, traveling approximately 900 kilometers, 560 miles, before splashing into the sea. Japan's defense ministry corroborated the launches, reporting that at least 2 missiles were detected reaching significant range and altitude before descending into international waters. International reaction and security responses. South Korea immediately convened an emergency National Security Council meeting, condemning the launches as a provocative act that violates multiple UN Security Council resolutions banning North Korea's ballistic missile activities. Japan's Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi labeled the launches a serious threat to regional peace and security, underscoring coordinated monitoring with allied forces. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command stated that while the launches do not pose an immediate threat to U.S. personnel or territory, Washington is closely consulting with allies and tracking further developments. Timing and strategic implications. The timing of the missile's flight, coming just hours before President Lee's departure for Beijing, has drawn particular attention from analysts. Some interpret the launches as a strategic signal to both China and the broader international community. As a message to China, aimed at deterring deeper cooperation between Seoul and Beijing and countering perceived pressure on China to push North Korea toward denuclearization. As a demonstration of military capability internationally, following a recent U.S. military operation in Venezuela, which Pyongyang publicly condemned as a serious encroachment of sovereignty. Domestic context in North Korea. North Korea's leadership appears focused on reinforcing its defense and weapons development agenda ahead of its 9th Party Congress, expected to take place early this year. In the days leading up to the missile launches, state media reported that leader Kim Jong-un visited weapon production facilities and ordered expanded manufacturing of precision-guided weapons, signaling a continued emphasis on military strength and deterrence. Diplomatic fallout and regional outlook. South Korean officials hope President Lee's talks in Beijing, including a planned meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping, will emphasize peace on the Korean peninsula and China's role in encouraging North Korea to resume stalled diplomatic engagements regarding its nuclear program. However, the missile launches are likely to complicate talks and reinforce concerns among Japan, South Korea, and the United States about Pyongyang's acceleration of weapons tests. Analysts note that North Korea's pattern of weapons demonstrations, including tests late last year of long-range cruise missiles and ongoing development of long-range ballistic systems, underscores a broader strategy of strengthening deterrence and securing greater leverage in international negotiations. What's next? With the Workers' Party Congress approaching and regional diplomatic efforts intensifying, observers will be watching for how North Korea balances its military demonstrations with ongoing calls from Seoul, Washington, and Beijing to de-escalate and return to dialogue on nuclear disarmament and security assurances.